Hey guys, welcome back. So I think I might have figured out what it was. Maybe. Not quite sure. I also don't know where I'm going. Get out the way, Watson. God damn it. Okay. So, there was something I missed. I think. Let's go back here.
Water lily.
Shut up. Maybe. Oh, okay. Let me check something. Okay. Can't do that. Think I have to do this. Yeah! Okay. No. Not knocking over the pot. Breaking the door. Then knocking over the pot.
No, it wasn't like that.
Get out the way, Watson. Where's my third one? There should be a third one. Okay, hold on. Got the footprints. To your right.
Blood.
Oh.
Someone fell violent. All the clues around here are quite suspicious. I need my imagination
I missed the
to make
blood.
sense of it all.
That's the one thing I usually don't miss. Okay, so breaking the door, then knocking over the pot, falling on the fence. Wrong button. Switch sequence. There we go. Now I got it.
This reconstruction reveals a disturbing fact. Montague Dunn damaged the door of the Colonial Collection Room.
He was in a panic, or the door was locked. Was it an accident, or a murder then, I wonder?
And now we have a little doolally. Let us perform an autopsy. Told you. Okay, we'll go to Scotland Yard in a minute. Yeah, we're gonna go to Scotland Yard now. Yeah, see, that's the thing is you don't, like, if you think someone died under natural pretenses, you're not, one, I think you still have to do an autopsy, at least nowadays. Or at least have a cause of death. Because dying naturally in your sleep is not a cause of death. But I think, like, you don't think, oh, okay, they definitely died of this poison.
I asked Inspector Lestrade to take Montague Dunn's body to Scotland Yard.
It's ready for autopsy then.
Are we gonna get to do another autopsy? Or an autopsy? Let's go down to the morgue. I'm gonna do another autopsy. I think we have to switch to Watson, but I kinda wanna do an autopsy. Just let me do an autopsy.
First of all, let us carry out an external examination.
Autopsy.
There are no suspicious marks upon the chest. Let us finish our external examination so that we can proceed with the autopsy.
Why am I The gash on the head is odd.
There is an injury to the skull, most probably caused by the fall in the water lily greenhouse.
Toxic.
The air from the lungs carries a faint floral aroma. The vessels and the pupil of the eye appear quite normal.
I'm trying to, like, look.
Nothing suspicious here.
Where are we going to find this?
No redness, stings, or bruises.
Yeah, because it's all internal.
Now, let us examine the internal organs.
Let's do a cutty cut. I want to do it. Didn't we do an autopsy before here? Let's pull out the heart. Wait.
The heart's blood vessels show no pathological signs. The heart tissue shows no visible pathological signs.
Kidney. I think we gotta look at the kidney. Nope. Let's do the liver, though.
The liver is enlarged. It would seem that he was suffering from an alcohol addiction. The liver tissue is brown. There are no visible pathological signs.
Ooh, lungs. Let's check the lungs. God, these look so weird.
The lungs are congested and edematous.
He's got pulmonary edema. Ooh!
The tissue on the inferior lobe of the right lung is damaged, most probably caused by toxins from an unknown
By a
plant.
toxic plant that we know have 3 of. I guess we gotta check the stomach.
The stomach tissue.
Yeah, you're probably not gonna have anything wrong with the stomach.
There is a small amount of content. It appears that he breakfasted lightly, only a short while before his death.
Why did they cover the head?
The suspicions have been substantiated. Montague Dunn, the director of Kew Gardens, died from poisoning. Plant poisoning, to be more exact.
You mean
Yes, it is murder.
we should inform Lestrade?
Yes, but do remember, Watson, that I discovered the murder. The challenge is mine.
The challenge, Holmes?
We need to locate that deadly plant. Such a perfect murder
Probably in the
appeals to me.
fire.
Murder of any kind appeals to you. Is that all we need to do?
No. We also have the people working at Kew Gardens. Martin Hamish and the son of the victim, Albert Dunn.
And also Miss White, of whom we spoke with Mr. Hamish. Should we bring them all here for interrogation?
No. A few innocuous questions at Kew will suffice, as well as a discreet delve into their personal affairs.
Let's get nosy.
Yes, Watson. It is time now to open the doors.
Even those in the staff building? I suppose that is necessary.
Yes, because
We
got
should
a dead
also
body.
be concerned with the victim himself. After all, we don't know very much about Montague Dunn.
You're enjoying this already, aren't you?
More than a little.
Because we're sadistic. But that's okay. Let's go find the deadly plant that's probably burning. I didn't mean to hit that one, but that's okay. Let's go to the garden. I mean, let's be honest, this is kind of obvious, but that's okay. Also, when I was looking this up, there's one more case left in this after we'd finished the plant murders. So I'm trying to think of like what else to play because I'm really loving these like crime solving ones. So let me know like if you still enjoyed these, what else I should do. Like definitely let me know. I batch film a lot ahead of time, so might be a while before I get to your suggestions, but I like doing this. Okay. Let's go talk about murder.
Mr. Hamish, can you explain to us what happened to the colonial collection? It seems somewhat depleted.
But, most likely maintenance work, tidying up.
You're not sure, then? But you're the deputy director.
Well, I am busy. I cannot be everywhere at once.
It's 'cause you suck.
As deputy director, how was your relationship with Montague Dunn?
To be honest with you, Mr. Holmes, it could have been better. You see, every Tuesday he would carry out his inspection of the gardens, but it was solely to make an impression, great pretense that he cared at all. He would give out absurd orders, ignoring anyone else's opinion. He would then disappear for the rest of the week. He was what some might call a man of action. I'd say rather he was overzealous and chaotic. So after all, it was no wonder, perhaps, that he ended up like that, if you take into consideration his kind of lifestyle.
You mentioned that Mr. Dunn led a particular lifestyle.
Well, it's no secret that he enjoyed, celebrating, shall we say? He was a member of the London Smart Set. He was famous for it. That
And
he had an eye for the ladies, to put it mildly, Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Hamish, can you tell us who holds the keys to the locked greenhouses?
That would be Albert, Mr. Dunn's son. Yes, Albert keeps all the keys, and one can only imagine why.
What do you mean?
Well, he was never interested in Kew Gardens before, and now all of a sudden he's trying to act as if he owns the place. I think he wants to take over the management here. He'd do better to leave that to me. He has no experience. No, none at all.
What is your opinion of Albert as a student of botany?
He's useless. I often tell him so, and I can only give him cleaning tasks. Botany is not his life's work, and his father well knew it. He was furious about it.
He was?
Oh, yes. He forced his son to work here, and he never missed an opportunity to criticize him publicly.
Are you able to elaborate on that?
Well, for example, with our last exhibition here, Mr. Dunn had Albert make a presentation speech. But then, while the lad was speaking, Mr. Dunn interrupted him, asking him difficult questions, making him look like a failure. It was with the intention of making a fool of him, Mr. Holmes.
That must have been terribly humiliating.
Yes, he was crushed, and he had to leave. Everybody was making fun of poor Albert. That is, except for Miss Margaret White, who was such a nice lady and who always takes pity on Albert.
Why did I say was?
You mentioned a Miss White. Would you tell us more about her?
She is a student who works here part-time. She is quite charming indeed. She possesses a great talent for botany. You should take a look at some of her experiments that she carried out in the laboratory. Ah, if only she were not so naive.
Why naive?
The way she used to flutter around Mr. Montague Dunn. And he couldn't help but be flattered by all her attention. How could an intelligent woman such as Miss White not see through his game? I can only scratch my head and wonder.
That sounds like
Tell
he's
me,
jealous.
Mr. Hamish, do you grow the more deadly variety of plant here?
You mean insectivorous? Yes, but nothing larger than that.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Interesting. Let's go talk to the boy.
Who is Miss Margaret White?
Ah, she is the young lady who studies with me. She visits here sometimes to help out with the greenhouses. In fact, she should be here today. She wanted to work at the seed house. That's the small greenhouse across from the large glass house.
We noticed that a part of the colonial collection has been cleared.
Ah, at the moment I'm just dealing with the storage room. I don't know much about the other rooms.
I imagine that your relationship with your father may have been a strained one.
Yes. I cannot say that he was a kind man, for he never listened to me at all. He forced me to work here. But now, after his death, I've been pondering it over. Perhaps he wasn't so wrong about me after all. I have to follow his path, and I have to manage Kew Gardens, and I can do it. I can be as good as any other who works here.
Would you please tell us about Martin Hamish, the deputy director?
Well, I have to tell you that Mr. Hamish is not and has never been the deputy director of Kew Gardens. My father would not have tolerated it.
Indeed? Well, that is most interesting. He told us that he was.
Yes, because he believes that the management should be passed down to him now that my father is dead. But in actual fact, Mr. Hamish only has the honour of being the garden's longest-serving employee. In fact, if we are to think logically at all, it should be me who takes over the management of Kew Gardens.
How about neither of
Do you not have a good relationship with Mr. Hamish?
I suppose so. But we have very little in common. Mr. Hamish loves his plants and Kew Gardens, and I cannot say that I share his passion.
I see. And how was his relationship with your father?
Oh, he hated my father. It was obvious. He would be furious whenever my father boasted of Kew Gardens in the newspapers or at conferences. He was convinced that my father was stealing all of the credit for himself. But my father treated Mr. Hamish in the same way as he treated anyone. Dismissively. With indifference.
Except the
Do you
women.
hold the keys to all of these locked doors?
Yes, you can have them. But I cannot give you the keys to the cloakroom. The employees' effects are private. I am sure you understand.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again.
So we got some keys. Okay. We're gonna end the episode here. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.